Ginawa namin itong konting pag-aaral na ito dahil kailangan bigyan ng konteksto yung mga pangyayari dun sa LA o dun sa kaso ni Pawi Tantoko. Sumulat yung nanay niya at nakahabag naman sa totoo lang. Pero kailangan natin ng konteksto kung bakit ganito din ang pakikitungo ng mga Marcos at ng mga Tantoko sa isa't isa. So binibigyan lang namin po kayo ng backgrounder sa kanilang mga pamilya. So, kung inyong mamarapatin, itutuloy na po natin ang ating presentasyon. This will be in English. The Tantoko family, Restance Corporation, their ties to the Marcoses. The foundation of the Tantoko Marcos relations, the family's relationship with the Marcos family, date back to the 1950s, but have strengthened significantly after Ferdinand Marcos became president in 1965. Bienvenido Tantoko Sr. and his wife, Glessy Tantoko, here in the picture, were described in historical accounts as close associates and business contacts of Imelda Marcos. Restance became a frequent supplier of luxury goods to the Marcos family, with Mrs. Marcos reportedly using the store for items related to state events, foreign trips, and personal use. Personal friendship. Mrs. Marcos used affectionate terms like sister when referring to Glessy Tantoko in public statements and interviews. And accounts describe the families as having vacation together, including trips to New York City and Europe, as reported by Carmen Pedrosa, the Philippine Star in 1982 and in 1987. Bienvenido Tantoko was in an advisory role. He was appointed Philippine ambassador to the Vatican from 1978 to 1986 under Marcos, a position that some investigations later characterized as potentially linked to political loyalty. Shared financial networks. There's alleged allegations of management of Marcos offshore accounts still unproven, but they were contained in PCGG documents and reported in the Philippine Daily Inquirer in 1990. The PCGG investigations alleged that the Tantocos assisted in managing offshore accounts for the Marcoses, including millions in Swiss bank deposits, reportedly linked to Glyceria Tantoco's name. These claims remain unproven. Marcos era business privileges. First, duty-free monopolies. The Tantocos enterprises reportedly benefited from Marcos era policies that favored political allies, though many of these benefits are described in investigations as correlative rather than definitely proven. The duty-free monopolies. In 1982, the Marcos government granted Restance subsidiary Philippines duty-free shops exclusive rights to operate retail outlets at Manila International Airport, bypassing standard bidding processes. This contract allegedly generated significant revenues for the Tantocos during the 1980s, and according to testimonies in post-1986 CGG hearings, DFS profits were shared with the Marcos family, although these allegations were not substantiated in court. This is according to a 1987 PCGG report. Tax exemptions and import licenses. For tax exemptions, the Marcos' Presidential Decree 1464, issued in 1979 and later amended, provided incentives for tourism-related businesses, including duty-free operations, which critics argue disproportionately benefited entities like Restance through tax exceptions on luxury imports. The Tantocos reportedly secured licenses to distribute the commodities such as sugar and gasoline through connections to Marcos associates like Roberto Benedicto, according to academic analysis of crony networks. Abs the dog, please. No. Okay. Real estate and offshore assets. Investigations identified property allegedly jointly linked to the Marcoses and the Tantocos, including a Manhattan apartment at Olympic Tower. That's the picture on the left if you're watching on YouTube or on Facebook. Um, and a Long Island estate, that's the one on the right, called Lindenmere, which flagged in U.S. federal cases as potential Marcos assets possibly held under Tantoco names, uh, which was cited in Mary Lynch, Pierce, Fenner, and Smith Incorporated versus Gliceria Tantoco, related to the U.S. District Court filings in 1986. Gliceria Tantoco was also listed as a director of Arelma Incorporated, a Marcos-linked entity, in approximately $35 million in accounts as confirmed in subsequent legal proceedings, as cited in U.S. Supreme Court case Republic of the Philippines versus Pimentel in 2008. Post-1986 legal challenges after the Marcos regime ended in 1986. The PCGG investigated the Tantocos as alleged facilitators of Marcos wealth concealment. No convictions resulted. Rustans was conduit, according to Rustan, for financial transactions, such as though through inflated invoices for luxury purchases, based on testimonies in the PCGG report in 19 return of assets. In 1991, the Tantocos agreed to surrender a portion of duty-free shares to the government as part of a settlement to resolve disputes without litigation. This was reported in the Philippine Daily Inquirer in 1991. Ongoing legal ties. The Tantocos retained control of assets like the Leyte Agricultural Development Corporation, a former Marcos holding, transferred to their name in 1983, as noted in PCGG reviews in 2003. The Tantoco family has denied these allegations, stating that any cooperation was to resolve political disputes, according to a Business World article in 1992. Next, modern-day connections. The Tantocos associations with the Marcos family have continued in various forms. Electoral support. Entities linked to the Tantocos contributed to Ferdinand Marcos Jr.'s 2022 presidential campaign as per public disclosures in the COMELEC records in 2022. Philippine duty-free shops, still under the Tantoco control, have pursued expansions, including a 2023 contract for outlets at Clark International Airport during Bongbong Marcos's administration, as reported in the Philippine Star in 2023. These developments are correlative, although not proven to involve favoritism. In conclusion, the Tantoco family's wealth and influence are documented as having close associations with the Marcoses over decades, including social, business, and indirect familial ties. Historical records and investigations highlight instances of shared networks and privileges during the Marcos era, though many allegations remain unproven in court and are based on testimonies or circumstantial evidence. While legal outcomes have not established illicit activity, these connections position the Tantocos as notable figures in accounts of Marcos era economic and political dynamics. Okay. So, what does this mean? Sabi ni R. Genoviva Tongans, I don't care, attorney, but as a mother, di na lang ako magsasalita. Okay, hindi ko po nakikita yung, siguro kanina pa to. Boyet Perea Bras says, kaya pala baliwala sa pamilya Tanto kung pagkamatay ng kanilang anak. Anak, Marcos Prony pala ang mga pauri din pala ng mga. Sabi ni Arwen naman, social naman, may PowerPoint presentation. Matagal na po kaming nagaganyan. Magandang gabi dun sa mga nasa TikTok natin. Tinatanong ni Random TikTok vids kung kamusta na si Tatay Digong. Sabi ni VP Indara, nasa mabuting kalagayan pa naman. Sabi ni Perlito, the matriarch of the Tantocos, that's Gliceria, I assume, was a member of the Blue Ladies of former First Lady Imelda Marcos. That's right. So, ang ibig sabihin lang, so what we're doing here is simply providing context for what happened. So, hindi ko alam kung anong ibig sabihin dun sa I don't care, but it also underscores kung bakit ganun nga yung sagot ni Mrs. Tantoco in relation to how her son died. Okay. Kung wala na pong ibang katanungan, probably end this live na lang right away. Kasi parang wala naman masyadong katanungan eh. Magandang gabi kay Miss Emma. Ay, kay Malvin Rona. So, bilis lang pala, 20 minutes lang pala to present to pag PowerPoint, mabilis lang. Sabi ni Ola Pina, may spider senses are tingling. Bakit ganun yung pagkakasulat and grammar post ng Mrs. Tantoco? Well, if it's like this, no, it may not be her at all. Di ba? Pwedeng hindi siya yun eh. Posibleng na hindi siya yung nag-ano. However, hindi nila dinideny. And the letter or another similar one, was on the Billionario website. They posted about it. Tapos may mga reports na ang mainstream media, they're also talking about it. And there's no denial coming from Mrs. Tantoco herself. Therefore, regardless of kung sino yung nagsulat niyan, walang denial na nanggagaling na siya ang author nun. In which case, ang only conclusion natin is that she's allowing us to believe that. Parang inaako niya na kanya yon. So my question is, if it wasn't her, but she allows it to happen, what would we consider? Would this be something that we should, ano ba yan? That should be of concern? And if so, if it is of concern, let's discuss. Ano sa tingin ninyo ang issue? Kung hindi po siya ang nagsulat. Sabi ni Nonoy, hindi ba dapat yung wife ang mag-release ng statement imbis ng mother? Government official siya, kasama niya ang asawa niya. The mother wasn't even there. I agree, the mas significant pagka yung wife yung nagsulat or sumagot or nag-issue ng statement. But nothing also stops the mother from issuing one. Actually, pwedeng marami sa kanila mag-issue ng statement kasi established naman ang relationship. Pero I agree, bakit nga ba hindi yung wife? Sabi ni Arwen, sa tingin ko naman ay kahit sinong naging president, meron silang leniency and perks for their so-called peers. Posible. Valid observation naman. Meron naman mga ganon, lalong-lalo na if it will pertain to the survival of the administration. Sabi ni Ma'am Tomlins, kung hindi siya, perhaps mga hire na naman na to. Yes, pero hindi po kasi nila dinideny. So, kasi the reason you would hire somebody would be for plausible deniability, di ba? Para pwede mong sabihin, hindi kami yun kung may negative impact. Pero kung sila yun, then they'll just allow people to believe na sila yung nagsulat. Pero, what is the value in this, di ba? Paano kung hindi nga siya yung nagsulat? Pero they're allowing the public to think na sila yung nagsulat. Ano yung value nun? Nung strategy na yon or ng tactic na yon? Sabi ni Wilson, was the appointment, some of these questions, I think that, is this a rhetorical question? Because obviously, who's going to have the answer to that? Sabi ni Wilson, was the appointment of Tantoco part of a broader strategy by the Marcos regime to place loyal allies in key diplomatic positions? It is not a diplomatic position. Dina Arroyo Tantoco, the wife of Paui Tantoco, is the Deputy Social Secretary of the Office of the President. Take note, this is not the Office of the First Lady. The Social Secretary's position is under the Office of the President, and there is no Office of the First Lady. Although, from what I understand, the First Lady is constantly with the officials of the Office of the Social Secretary. Sabi ni Feng, di baka pinagsabihan sila na ganyan lang ang pwede nilang sabihin o wala lang talaga silang sa anak nilang nitay. I don't know if I can make that sort of conclusion. Kasi from what I understand, there's also a letter. There are two. So yung comment na nakita natin that has been shared online, tapos mayroon pang isang letter that was, if I'm not mistaken, sent, a copy of which was sent to the Daily Tribune. Sabi ni Arwen, iba ang naiisip ko sa pagkamatay ni Paulo Tantoco. I'm inclined to think that if at all there is foul play, then the prime suspect is wife, motive inheritance. But that wouldn't, if it is inheritance, I don't think he has yet come into the inheritance of his parents. So a wife does not inherit from the family of the guy. She'll only get yung one half. It's the children who will get the inheritance, not the wife. Wanda says, kasi baka nabasa na namin yung post mo about how the Tantocos are related. Pero I think lang na sinabi ni Mrs. Tantoco na walang kinalaman silang kasi normal na sa kanila yon. Si Miss Wanda kasi binabasa niya yung Facebook namin. Normally kasi yung mga kausap natin dito sa live, bihira nilang nababasa yung mga posts namin sa Lumos. So, but I still need clarification. I understand nga na people are saying na baka she isn't the one who posted on Facebook. Baka hindi siya yung nagsulat ng post na yun. My question is, ano ang effect kung hindi siya yun? Kasi right now, in-acknowledge ng bilyonaryo, in-acknowledge ng mainstream media, and hindi po sila sumasagot. So, sabi ni Ma'am Ira, how come others can comment from Facebook? Because there are 2 Facebook accounts. Sabi niya, how come others can comment from Facebook when you aren't live in Facebook? I'm live on the Trixie Cruz Angeles page po. There's another page. Yes po. Sabi ni Nonoy David, the mother's statement is trying to free the first lady from the crime, and the mother was not even there. Hindi ba pag may namatay sa ganyan, ang unang suspect ay asawa o huling kasama? Well, I guess it will depend on the circumstances. Since wala naman tayong official na nakikita that state with any certainty kung sino yung nandun, then officially, wala pang ganun na suspects. Officially on our end. Of course, merong mga iba na have already said na mayroon sila na another version or the actual report. Okay, so sabi ni Nini, I'm just wondering kung nakijamming din ba si wife sa loob. Baka nag-iiwas siya na mag-comment kasi baka mas lalong lumaki yung issue o pwedeng magkamali siya sa mga sagot if interview will happen. That's actually a good, good reasoning. Sabi ni Uncle Pabs, may hugot na galit yung nanay Pao. Oo naman. I don't think that she likes the way the conversation, the national conversation or the social media conversations are being done. Ang kaso, di ba, how can you not talk about it? You really have to talk about it because it was already made public. And since it was already made public, how are you going to manage to refrain from commenting? Lalong-lalo na, it may have been a Philippine-sponsored, well, it was a Philippine-sponsored activity, and therefore may use of public funds dun sa pagpunta ng wife. And the reason for the deceased to be there was because of the activity that the wife was present in. Sabi ni Ma'am Ola, it can be a half-truth, pushing a narrative, masyadong focus na hindi kasama o kasalanan siya. It was a significant part, yes. Sabi ni Kimzo's online shop, nice shirt, is that for sale? Mamaya pagsabihin ko na naman na whatever, na ba? Pag may nakakakita na may suot ako or something, merong mga humihirit na, oy, nagbebenta na naman, ginagamit ang pangalan ni tatay, etc. So, ito bigay po sa akin. Sabi ni Ferd, pwede ba ma-appoint si BBM Mulya as ombudsman? Well, they have to deal with the issue of yung kaso niya sa ombudsman. Hindi pa po siya dismissed hanggang ngayon. Sabi ni Socorro, sana nga hindi na lang nagsalita yung mother kasi lalong lumaki yung tunog. Dapat yung misis ni Paolo nag-issue ng statement. Ako, I agree na mas mako-curious yung mga tao tungkol dun sa wife. Parang, tapos nung nagsalita nga yung mother, it was at the time na ni-release yung medical examiner's report. But I think the other significant portion of what she was saying is that hindi naman nakalagay OD, cocaine effects coupled with a pre-existing condition. So yun, kaya ko namang yes, I can actually say na kasi from now on, we will not refer to any OD because hindi naman OD yung nakalagay sa medical examiner's report, but it was cocaine effects. Hi, Miss Susan. Sabi ni Fred, therefore, di siya pwede, dapat di talaga. Hirap pag siya naging ombudsman. So, mahihirapan kahit tayong lahat. Hi, Casey Lucy. Sabi ni CRTV, I can remember during my college days that when I go to Restans Cubao, minsan closed. Oo. Oo, di ba? Tapos sinasabi, nagsha-shopping si Imelda Marcos sa loob. Oo nga. Oo nga. Hi kay Ma'am Concordia. Hope all are doing fine. We are. Thank you very much. Hi kay 539483570. I get it. Kaya konti yung kasi hindi tayo naka-live dun sa isang page. I don't know why hirap siya. Shout out sa mga hindi mo pera yan, group members from CAFL. Sabi ni Freddy, pag mahirap, OD. Pag mayaman, coke effects. Oy, grabe. Pero, posible, no? Sabi ni Ben Hart, nakinabang ang pamilyang ito sa mga Marcoses mula pa noong sa diktador. Nag-cost analysis ang pamilya nila, pinili ang survival mode, kaya baka tinanggap na lang maaaring. Okay, I understand that this is your prevailing theory. Okay. Ay, it would have been, alam nyo, I think mishandled lang talaga ito. Yung bang kung sa tingin nila may issue, hiding is more suspicious. Diba, ano yung sinasabi nila, be brave as a lion. Sinasabi ng court yan. Pag nagtago ka, pag tumakbo ka, pag, you run away, then there's reason for the court to believe na guilty ka. So yung mga people trying to cover up, or when it feels like a cover-up, or it smells like a cover-up, and very little information is given out, this is actually a lesson in communication strategies. If you look like you're hiding something, people will keep asking and they won't let the issue rest. Okay. Yan, sabi ni Ma'am Christine, mishandled like everything else in this admin, not an honest bone in its body, squirmy about everything. I agree. Sana kasi nga, it would have been much, much better if they had acknowledged that an incident had happened. O ganito yung nangyari. Labas na kagad si Madam Claire. O may ganito pong nangyari. Unfortunately po, may ganito, may casualty, may ganyan. But we assure everybody that all Philippine officials are cooperating. Mga ganyan ba? Tama. Ito sabi ni Ms. Tomlins. Why naman si Mrs. or nanay nagsalita? Witness ba siya? Andun ba siya? Yun na nga eh. Even if she says, walang kinalaman si so-and-so dito, how would you know where is your personal knowledge? Wala, di ba? Kasi wala naman siya doon. So tama yung observation na ito. Kasi walang what we call personal knowledge. Ano yung personal knowledge? Yung ikaw mismo, using your senses, ang nakakita, nakarinig, naka-appreciate, naramdaman, yung mga ganyan. Sabi ni Nonoy, yung biyahe ni FL sa KSA, halatang konektado sa nangyari sa LA para mahilan, para hindi sumama sa US. mga pics sa KSA, masyadong controlled ang crowd, pinili lang nila ang mag-join, sabi ni Nonoy. And again, that makes it look like the First Lady is hiding. Di siya available. Pero nakita ko, mega PR. Meron photos, nakapost ka agad ng mga photos, ganyan. Pero walang interviews. Walang yung mga ganon. Sabi ni Perlito, mga alta, hard vlogs talagang news nila. Feeling mga New Yorker lahat. Oo, may ganon. Sabi ni Lebron, you bring calm through the storm. Actually, I like if it weren't for the fact na may nasasalanta, gusto ko yung maulan na panahon. Kasi hindi, hindi ka naiinitan, hindi ka nag-aircon, ang sarap maghiga lang at magbasa, magkape, manood ng Netflix. Sabi ni Ma'am Wanda, nanay ko nagsusubscribe ng women's magazine, parating may articles about Leslie Tantoco, Restance, and Imelda Marcos. Parang equivalent ng Restance ay Bloomingdale's ng araw. Oh. Sabi ni Arsenio, may official function ba daw si First Lady doon sa Saudi Arabia trip? Check natin. Saudi ba? Di ba KSA? KSA. Tama. Saudi. Working visit ayon sa Manila Times. Meet with overseas Filipino workers. Visit to the OFW and OWA Servicio Caravan, one-stop government outreach that offers services to OFWs including legal aid, financial support, and welfare counseling. So una tinanggal nila si Arnelli, tapos punta doon para punta doon sa OWA Servicio Caravan. Yes, KSA nga. Yes, ma'am. Sabi ni Ma'am Melody, lahat ng paandar na PR ni na BBM or FLE sa palpak lagi. Kasi nga if you hide, people will be suspicious. If you come out, you give an explanation, it's possible that the people will question the explanation, pero at least hindi ka mukhang may tinatago. Sabi ni CA Fel, up to now, I don't believe that's Nenati talking. I mean, emojis. Yes, but my question is, kung hindi nga siya, pero in-acknowledge na, and everybody saying siya yun, what is the value? So, kung hindi siya yun, ano nang mangyayari? Diba? Anong mangyayari? If it's not her, what is the value of that dun sa discussion? Noong una, okay lang kasi pwede natin tanungin, bakit nga ba, siya ba talaga to? Kasi nga, tama kayo, emojis. Tapos, comment siya dun sa bilyonaryo page. So, okay, kung hindi siya yun, pwede natin sabihin ay may nagtotoo lang. Pero now that it has been acknowledged na siya ngayon, is it still valuable for us to say, hindi siya yun? And what is the contribution? I mean, kumaga, ano yung significance niya? Okay. But, it's okay, I'm just asking. So, baka you want to explain. O sabihin na natin at this point, valuable pa ba yung na isipin natin na hindi? Siguro kasi ang tingin ko dito is in-acknowledge na. Nakita ko, in-acknowledge na ng bilyonaryo eh. So, since bilyonaryo posted it and they're saying na siya yun, at hindi siya nagsasalita, it means na inaako niya kanya yun. Sabi ni Demystifying Maria, judgment spellings pa so highly doubtful. Oo nga. Sa akin it was the emojis eh. Talaga? Emojis? Parang it doesn't seem, in character. Sabi ni C.A. Fel, I don't really have an argument. Wala lang significance. Just proves our distrust. On that one, I agree. Talagang, no matter what happens, ang taas talaga na ng distrust level. And that is correct. I agree with that one completely. Sabi ni Tatay, 888. And yet here I am grossly misinformed that one needs to be an actual government official before you can label your trip as an official working visit. But special kasi ang first family because they can undertake official functions of the first family. They're considered, that's why we can spend on them. Para silang, there's like a special category. They're not government officials, but they can undertake duties, ribbon cutting, mga opening of this ganto-ganto, attend mass for ganyan, pupunta ka, makikiramay ka. So yung mga ganyan, these can be considered official functions of the first family. Very special yung category na yun. I remember because I asked when I was in Malacanang. So, how to explain? Because I figured that it was going to be asked. Can we justify, let's say, spending on the first family? Yes, if they are part of the president's official, official delegation. So yun. Yung sa KSA, wala lang, sinabi going to go visit yung OWA facility doon. So, yan, this is where your distrust should be going up. And I agree, yeah. So, there wasn't any, yun. Meron pa pala. She would also lead the launch of a new one-stop shop in KSA, in Saudi Arabia. She would visit shelters for distressed Filipino women, workers, and children in the kingdom. So yun. So it's not a time-bound thing. So tama na ako dito talaga mataas yung suspicion level ko. Kasi hindi siya sumama sa ating Pangulo and normally sumasama siya. I would understand kung mayroon pre-scheduled na event. Tapos yung event na yon, hindi mo pwedeng i-delay kasi importante yung time. So halimbawa, anniversary of something, Independence Day, national holiday natin, i-spend nyo doon. Time-bound, mayroong may significance yung araw. Pero ito, hindi. Walang significance. She could have delayed it. She could have gone to the US first, delayed this one, and then gone to this after the US. Ayan. Nagulat ako kay Ma'am Inday, sabi niya, che, pero may follow-up siya. Che, puno, meron siyang concern sa mga OFWs. Akala ko kung ano yun, che. Sabi din ni Michael Modesto, asus. So, magiging ako lang, this is my opinion and you don't have to subscribe to it. Mataas ang suspicion level ko na may iniiwasan siya. Pero ang tingin ko, pwede naman kasi umiiwas lang siya dun sa marami kasing magtatanong, very sensitive yung issue, at dun pa babalik nun sa lugar na yun, baka matanungan siya during an official function with the US President and so on. So, iwas talaga. Pumupunta siya sa KSA para umiwas. But ang tingin ko, ang iwas talaga is the awkwardness. Sabi ni CA, how come it's okay that FL gets to travel like this but DPSR gets ostracized? I don't think ostracized yung term. I think criticized siya. Ostracized means tiniwalag ka na you're kicked out of a group or nobody wants to talk to you, the crowd wants to, ikaw dyan ka lang and di ka namin friend, gano'n. But ako, I already don't agree na she should get criticized for it. Unang-una tatay niya yun. Pangalawa, may mga she can undertake other functions like do ribbon cutting, etc. in accordance with her trip also. So tama. Sabi ni Jake, ba't pag first family yung nagkakawang gawa? Alam mo, plastic. Makita o magpakita sa at makibagay, di sila makita o makbagay, di sila talaga sanay sa normal na tao. Kita mo talaga na mapagmataas ang ugali. Sabi ni Arsenio, ma'am, ano po ba talaga ang papel sa Saudi? Tingin ko iwas lang. What role can she dispense? What help can she do? Parang junket lang yan. Parang ginawan na lang nila ng dahilan, di ba? Oh. Pero sabi, originally, she was supposed to go in July. Sabi ni Perlito, iwas si Liza sa mga international press, baka ma-ambush interview, controversial issue tungkol sa Beverly Hills incident. O kasi medyo pumuputok na. And pumuputok siya, mostly ang pagkaka-report is yung away ng magkapatid, si Aimee at si BBM. Pero para sa akin, gusto ko talaga na-report yung mga ganyan sa international press para tama kayo, matanungan siya. Matanungan yung mga parties allegedly not involved. Hi kay Gracia. Sabi ni JJA, Saudi kasi control ng media, pwede mag-request sa ministry na bawal media at bawal magtanong. Pwede, oo nga, isa pa yon. Oo nga, no? Kasi very, very controlled. Good one, good observation. Sabi ni Ma'am Inday, yes, iwas kasi you can imagine the American press will randomly ask her about the fake news na sinabi nila about the earlier case of Beverly Hills. Sus, alam na this. Iwas, walang choice eh. At magtataka ka, bakit ayaw mag-meet ng media, ayaw mag-meet the press, or even worse, hindi na nga sila i-interviewin, ang ungkatin pa ng US media. Yan, lala. Sabi ni Goods, dito kasi sa Middle East, di pwedeng mag-rally kaya safe siya sa pagdumog ng tao sa galit. Solid Duterte ang Middle East, kung pwede lang batuhin ng isang bayong ng kamatis kung magpunta siya dito. Oh my God. Ay, oo nga.